Welcome to DEMOCREPUBLIX, where we cover the real news that matter to we the people. Attorney for Epstein's alleged victim says prison source claims pedophile was murdered. The Daily Mail reports that a lawyer for 3 of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged victims claims to have obtained new information proving the multi-millionaire financier was murdered and did not commit suicide as confirmed by officials. Spencer Coven, who previously predicted that Epstein would not live to see his trial, alleges that an anonymous prison worker contacted him to say it was highly unlikely the 66-year-old killed himself. Epstein killed himself August 10th in his cell of New York's Metropolitan Correctional Center in downtown Manhattan while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. An investigation later determined that Epstein hanged himself using a bedsheet as a makeshift noose and wrapping it around his neck. However, Coven is attempting to suggest otherwise, telling The Sun a source told him that every square inch of the cells where Epstein was kept was covered by surveillance cameras, so investigators shouldn't have needed to conduct an investigation. He says the pedophile's death would have been documented on video. The first words out of the mouth, to be honest, were, "Don't believe what you are hearing," in regards to Epstein's death. I had a lengthy conversation with him about the issues of security within MCC, and he gave me a fairly detailed description of the interior of the jail, which led me to believe that he was credible, he told the outlet. He told me that the special housing unit where Mr. Epstein was kept was basically designed to be a jail within a jail. According to Coven, his source said there was an even more secure unit where the prison's highest profile inmates were kept, such as Epstein, who were under surveillance 24 hours a day. If reports that there is no CCTV are true, it would mean that they've either shut the cameras off or they were not functioning in some key way, Coven theorized. He says there was no way they would have been able to see what was going on. The attorney has also voiced his own suspicion that Epstein's cellmate was reportedly moved to a different holding area just hours before Epstein was found dead. Epstein had been placed on suicide watch after he apparently made an unsuccessful attempt to take his own life on July 24th, having been found unconscious on the floor with injuries to his neck. He was taken off suicide watch not long after returning from the hospital. The purpose of a cellmate for someone who either was on suicide watch or on suicide watch is to notify guards if something is happening. So the fact that they pulled the cellmate is not only one level above negligent, it also appears intentional, he told The Sun. Really, he should have been on suicide watch. Not only was he not on suicide watch, they pulled the one person that could have notified guards if something untoward was about to occur. It was almost as though they did it so that no one could see what was going on, what was going to happen to the following day. Much of Coven's doubt stems from his 3 meetings with Epstein, from which he believes the financier lacked the resolve to carry out such an act. He always seemed highly intelligent, arrogant, self-assured, and confident. Never thought he did anything wrong, even in the light of all the evidence against him. He basically just blamed the victims and had an incredible ego about himself. And someone with that type of ego just never struck me as someone that could possibly commit suicide. I didn't think he was that brave, to be perfectly honest. He always hid behind lawyers upon lawyers upon lawyers in his civil and criminal cases. I mean, you can't even count the number of people he hired to protect him from any allegations, but civil and criminal. This type of an act requires a certain amount of resolve, and he just never struck me as someone that could do that. Coven previously speculated in the days leading up to Epstein's death that he was in jeopardy of being killed because he had powerful friends who didn't want their secrets out. As a result, the attorney believes that somebody inside the prison was paid to make Epstein's death look like a suicide, and the guards were paid to disappear and not be there. So someone went in there in the early morning hours, tied him around the neck with a bed sheet, tied the bed sheet to the bed, and pushed him down effectively and held him down until he choked to death. With the fracture of the bone in his neck, it suggests a high amount of force pushing down on him, he continued. I think the most likely scenario, if it's not a suicide, as I've said before, is that there were too many people that were afraid, and he would talk about what he may have done with them and others. They just paid off someone to go into the jail and take care of him. Representing 3 of Epstein's purported victims, Coven says he is demanding a full investigation be carried out into what happened in the prison, as well as seeing Epstein co-conspirators arrested. So, more Epstein news. A lot of people believing that he didn't commit suicide, that somebody killed him. But leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Epstein really did kill himself, or you think somebody took him out? Or a third theory is that he actually walked out the prison and that was a fake, that was someone else's body. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out DEMOCREPUBLIX.com for the latest in news. Until next time. We living on a real nightmare. We living on a real nightmare.